If you've got a problem with snacking or feeling guilty for eating certain types of snacks, for example, chocolate or cake or biscuits, then this video is for you because I'm about to explain exactly why that's the case, so why you feel guilty doing these things, why you tend to overeat on snacks, and ultimately how to navigate around it, meaning that you can still eat your favourite foods, you can still have some chocolate while still guaranteeing that you lose fat in a guilt-free way. So snacking is a little bit of a weird one, to be honest, because all that snacks are is a deconstructed meal. Think about it, if you got all of the snacks that you ate throughout the day and pop them all together on a plate, you would have a pretty weird looking meal. It'd be kind of like a British charcuterie, wouldn't it really? Mini cheddars, cake, chocolate, bit of fruit every now and then as well, hopefully. But either way, it's a deconstructed meal that you're picking and eating from throughout the day. Now the issue with deconstructing a meal or just picking at snacks throughout the day is it has less impact on your satiety, so how full and satisfied you are, than if you ate a full meal. Your body reacts to it differently, and therefore not enough leptin is produced, which is the hormone that's responsible for satiety, and ghrelin is actually produced a little bit more so. So ghrelin is the hormone that's responsible for hunger. So my first tip is if you find yourself snacking quite a lot throughout the day, then there's a chance that you might just be a little bit hungry. And the best way to counteract that is have a meal. A common thing that I ask my clients to do is if they find themselves overeating on snacks throughout the day is add a fourth meal into their day, because that way they're going to be a little bit more fuller for longer and they're going to be less likely to pick and eat snacks that they have throughout the day. And think about it, if the accumulation of your snacks equates to about 600 to 700 calories, but a full meal, so a nice little sandwich with a packet of crisps, for example, equates to about 400 calories, then you've eaten less calories, but you've been more full up. So that might actually help with you overeating on snacks throughout the day. Now, the reason as to why you probably feel guilty about eating certain snacks is firstly, because you might be putting these snacks on a pedestal. Let's take the high and mighty celebrations as an example. If you have a couple of celebrations out of this packet, not bounties because they're for paedophiles. If you have a couple of celebrations out of this packet, then you're feeling guilty because you look at chocolate as being naughty, as being bad for you. You're kind of putting it on this pedestal and giving it moralistic labels, even though all it really is just food, which has a high simple carbohydrate content, meaning that it's going to be really sweet, which basically means that it's easy to overeat on because it tastes amazing. And the second reason as to why you probably feel guilty about it is because the majority of snacks that people consume tend to be higher in calories than other things. So for example, when I say to you snack, I guarantee the first thing that comes to your head is a packet of mini cheddars or some celebrations or a cake or whatever it is. And these things do indeed have higher calories than, for example, a piece of fruit or a rice cake, which means that they have a higher likelihood of taking you over your calorie deficit and therefore causing you to not lose fat and potentially even gain fat if you go into the surplus. So you feel guilty for eating these snacks because you think that you've fucked it. You think that you're instantly going to gain fat because you've gone above your calorie target. Now, despite the fact that that's not always the case, because just because you have one snack doesn't mean you've gone above your calorie target, let's assume that it does for this case. What I want you to do is as follows. I want you to include these snacks as a part of your daily plan. So at the start of the day, I want you to get the snack which you usually tend to eat, whether that is a packet of crisps or a chocolate bar or a cake or a few biscuits, and I want you to log that into your calorie tracking app. And then for the rest of the day, I want you to try and account the rest of your calories throughout the day around this snack that you've already accounted for at the start of the day. And then at the end of every single day, I want you to make your sole target to be to eat that snack that you've already logged at the start of the day every single evening. Now, the beauty of this method is that you stop putting this snack on a pedestal because it's a part of your plan. You've realigned your expectations for the day and you've said to yourself, I am going to eat this snack later on in the day, which will make you feel less guilty. An example of this is, let's say, for example, you say to yourself, I am going to have a lie-in tomorrow because I've not got work, I've got a day off, and I've not got anything that I need to do. You'll feel less guilty having that lie-in in the morning than if you accidentally go over your alarm, because having the lie-in was all part of your plan. Having the snack later on in the day is all part of your plan because you've accounted for it, you've logged it in, and you've said to yourself, I am going to eat it. And the second way it helps you feel a little bit less guilty for doing it is you're accounting all of your calories around that snack. So it's not just something that you've eaten and therefore makes you go over your calorie target. You've accounted for those 100 to 300 calories at the start of the day and accounted the rest of your calories around it. So provided that you've done that correctly, you won't go over your calorie target and you will stay in that deficit, meaning that you'll still be losing fat while still enjoying your favourite chocolate, your favourite cake, your favourite biscuit, and therefore you'll get results whilst feeling guilt-free. I hope that helps. Hope that made sense. If you like this video, make sure that you give it a like. If you've got any questions for me, comment below because I'd be more than happy to answer them for you. And if you want any more free fitness or fat loss based content without any of the bullshit as always, make sure that you either follow my Instagram at k.p_health or subscribe to this channel. Peace.